Welcome, collectors, and thank you for joining me for another new episode of Diecast Emporium. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at my collection of 1/48 scale CCM or classic construction models. Now, a couple things I want to point out before we get this video going, so bear with me. If you guys are new, CCM is a relatively small family-owned company located on the West Coast in Oregon. And they've been around for well over 30 years, and they're known for making extremely high-quality brass and die-cast models, most notably for Caterpillar, of course, but they've done for other companies over their history. And what you're going to see in this video, and again, I ask for your patience because a lot of these are behind glass, and this display case in particular doesn't open from the front, so I can't get that, kind of blurry or reflection out of this. So I ask for your patience with that. Also, I might screw up some of the number and letter designations, so you can tell how terrible and awful and stupid I am in the comment section if that makes you feel better, so feel free to do that. But really, most notably, is I've been very fortunate to fill some gaps in my collection over the past 15, 18 months or so. So in one video, you're going to see every single mass-produced 1/48 scale cap model that CCM has ever done. And that's never been done before on any social media platform that I'm familiar with. So it's an honor that I don't take lightly. I'm very, very proud to have these in my collection. I've worked extremely hard to have one of each of these in my collection, and I'm very proud to share them with you. So let's go ahead and get started. In the back, we have a DD9G, which is a tandem bulldozer setup from the 1960s, a pretty cool model. These two dozers here on the left are, again, I'm trying to get as much of this glare off the screen as I can, but it seems every time I try and make an adjustment, it just makes it worse. These are the two D7Gs. The one on the left is more standard setup of a dozer with your open ROPS and 3-shank ripper. This version is set up as a forestry dozer. You have a winch in the back, sweeps, and then your angle blade. This is my favorite of the two. Over here you have the three D8Ks. Also spectacular series of models. Moving on, we have the DD9H. So this is the H version. That version is the G version. Over here we have one of the most sought-after models that CCM has ever done. This is the D9H standard version bulldozer. Over here we have the D9H side-by-side, essentially. Again, most of you guys know this, but for those that might be new, these are two D9H tractors that are conjoined by this transverse beam right here, and they share a single blade. It's a shame that this concept really never caught on, because this would have been really cool to see today. All right, over here, these two are the standard quote-unquote D9Gs, so not the ones that's conjoined up there. This has a 9R rip blade. This is a push dozer. We'll move on to the plethora of D9Ls that have been released. So this was the original, more of a standard bulldozer setup. Down here, this D9L is a push dozer. This D9L is outfitted with an impact ripper. And this D9L is another push dozer, but this one has the adjustable ripper shank in the back. All right, let's move on to the D10s. This was the original D10 with a single stack and ripper. This D10 is a push dozer. This was the second release of the D10. These have the twin exhaust stacks and the multi-shank ripper. And then this D10 has the twin exhaust stacks outfitted with a push blade and then a multi-shank ripper at the back. All right, these four are the D11Ns that were released last year. These three are in the Beltline configuration. This is in the lead paint, which I guess some of the first D11Ns were. Basically, like the D11N was pretty much the D10, as I understand it. So this has a single shank ripper, as does this, with an adjustable ripper. This one has a 3-shanked ripper, and then this one has the impact ripper on it right here. All right, at the bottom, this is really hard to do, actually. We have three 973s. So this one has your demo bucket. This one has your 4-in-1 bucket. This one has more of your general purpose or rock bucket, whatever you want to call it. I guess it's more of a rock bucket since it has teeth. These two are 983Bs, the largest track loader that Cat's done. So this one has a large rock bucket on it, and then a 3-shank ripper. Over here we have the 3 track loaders. This is a 583K, 587T, and then a PL87. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be at the other display case, so don't go anywhere. We're going to get into the really good stuff here in just a moment. All right, welcome back. This one I'm not proud of, but because it's so big, I currently don't have anything big enough to store this in yet, but I'm hoping to change that by the time the large mining shovels that are scheduled to be released here in about a month or so come out. At any rate, this is the 776 tractor. There we go. Let's get it in frame. Here we go. 776 tractor with the Mega off-road lowboy. So this was used to haul mining equipment around. The Mega Corporation is the same company that makes those large mining water tankers. Okay, let's move on to the scrapers. Now, scrapers are my nemesis, so I guarantee you I will screw some of these numbers up. All right, so we have the original 666, 666 McCoy, 666 with the coal body, 660, 660 Athlete dump, 660 with the dump, regular dump truck style trailer, 651B, that would make this 657B, 657B with the 666 coal. Moving down here, starting off in the back, we have another D9L pulling a 631E tote scraper. Over here we have, these two are very new releases from CCM. This is a 633E and a 639D as in Delta, 633. Start over. 633D, 639D, paddle wheel or elevating scraper. Told you I was going to screw this up. All right. Next up, in my opinion, humble opinion, these two overall, at least in 1/48 scale, are the best all-around scrapers CCM has ever done. 631E, 637E, 631K, much newer scraper, 637K, 637K coal body. Good, got through the scrapers somewhat with my dignity still intact. 776 dump trailer, the original 777 off-highway truck. That's another fantastic model. Really, all CCM models are great, but honestly, as those of us, or those of you, I should say, out there that have children, admittedly, you have your favorites, whether you want to say it or not. Back here, we'll start with the excavators. 245 material handler, 245 standard, another one of my favorites. 245 mass excavator, not so much. Even CCM will admit that this 245 mass excavator project was a disaster and had a lot of issues with it. 349 standard with the interchangeable bucket. 349 mass excavator. 375 sewer stick. 375 mass excavator. Another not so great model. 375 demolition. 385, and yes, thanks to a good friend of mine in the community, if you want to see the full story, check out the link up here. I now have a 390 in my collection, and I am so happy. All right, up in front, the original 769, 769B, 988, 988. Did I say 988B? Just a 988. 988 log loader, 834 as an ambulance comes by. 272 skid steer. This is actually a brass model. Somebody must be dying right outside my condo because they just turned the lights and siren off. 735B articulated dump truck. Again, not a great model in terms of quality control. And kudos to CCM. Unlike other companies, I won't mention any names, that make excuses for projects that go awry for a variety of different reasons, at least CCM has always been there, at least for me, in terms of fixing problems or any issues that I have ever had. Their customer service is second to none, and they have always been there for me. So if you're looking to get behind the company and you're looking to start your collection, CCM has never, ever once steered me wrong. All right, in the back, the big boy over here on the left. By the way, these are just a bunch of serial number brochures that come with these models. 6090 front shovel, 6020 excavator setup, 6015B, 992B, 992B beadless tire, 992C, 992C beadless tire. 245 front shovel. On the factor of 245, you've seen all of them now, including the front shovel. There is one that was not produced by CCM. There's a gentleman in the community that bought a lot of them and put a custom rock saw on it. I don't have that in my collection. One of these days I'd like to, but that is not a model that was directly commissioned or licensed or produced by CCM. That is, quote-unquote, a fan-made model. So if you see one of those and you're wondering why it's not on the CCM website or why it wasn't directly available from CCM, it's because it's not technically a CCM model. Over here, we have the 385C front shovel. This is another spectacular model. This is the 16M motor grader. I really wish CCM would do an older version of a motor grader to have next to it. Maybe we'll see that. I don't know. And then the last two over here are 77Gs. This is a 77G outfitted with a mega water tanker on it for dust suppression and even some firefighting if need be in mines. And then a 77G, just a standard off-highway dump truck. So that will conclude this video, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Again, I do want to add just a couple little tidbits before we end this video. I know it's been long already at nearly 12 minutes, so I really appreciate all those that have stuck with this video. Again, just a couple key highlights. You've seen every single one of the 148 scale CAT mass-produced CCM models in one video that Classic Construction Models has done to date. Number two, they're coming out with a couple mining shovels, hopefully by the end of this year. Number three, they plan on releasing some 988Bs, as well as some, I think it's 651s or 657 scrapers. Those projects are in the works. Hopefully those will be released in due time. Number four, if you are looking to keep up with the developments and any information from CCM, you can subscribe to their newsletter, visit their website, ccmmodels.com. Again, I encourage you to check that out. You can sign up for free. You can also read up on their past and future releases. Number five, if you guys want to see any of these models up close and personal, most of these models have their own separate review video on my channel. So for example, let's say you want a closer look at the 633D and 639D paddle wheel or elevating scrapers, you would simply go to youtube.com and type in Diecast Emporium CCM 633D and then hit the search button, and that video will pop up. And you can do that for pretty much all of these, and you can have a much closer look and check out that review video if you want to. Another thing I want to mention is a lot of people will complain and make a note about price with a lot of CCM models, especially the appreciation or premium value that comes with the closed edition models. And I completely understand your point, and it can be very, very annoying. However, these models are produced in such small numbers that once they sell out directly from CCM, you have a lot of private collectors, and in some cases, some dealers that will buy up what is available and then make it very, very difficult for people to get these models at an affordable price. And unfortunately, that's just part of the game. I'm not saying I agree with it, but unfortunately, it is what it is. So your best defense against that is, once again, to pre-order the models directly from CCM at MSRP, so that when they become directly available, CCM will shoot you an invoice, you pay for the invoice when they're available, and you're paying the MSRP price instead of paying the astronomical, egregious inflation price that these models draw once they are sold out. So hope you guys appreciate that a little bit of advice. I know many of you guys that have been around for a while like me already know this, but I have noticed at least that there's been a huge influx of new collectors into our hobby lately, especially since 2020, which is a really, really good thing to see. I really would like to see our hobby continue to get healthier. As always, if you guys have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And also, if you'd like to see my collection of 187 scale CCM models, which unlike these are all brass models, take a look at your screen right now. You will see a link for that. As always, take care, be safe, and I'll see you in the next review.